A very good afternoon to our distinguished chief guests, all the faculty members, and my fellow students. I am Suman, pursuing second year Bachelor of Commerce, Guru Sri Shanti Vijay Jain College for Women, deems it as a privilege in organizing the national level webinar on the theme Awareness on PCOS, hosted by Gssjc-Health and Nutrition Forum. Happiness is the highest form of health. On behalf of the college and Health and Nutrition Forum, I feel extremely glad to render a hearty welcome to you all. Prayer should always be our first response to every situation. Let us commence this informative and beneficial session by seeking the Almighty's blessings. A warm welcome makes an occasion more special. May I request Dr. Lata Brito ma'am, coordinator of GS's Health and Nutrition Forum, to render a gracious welcome to all and read the credentials of our prominent chief guest.
A very good morning and a cordial salutation to all the participants of this webinar. First of all, I would like to thank the management, a honorable correspondent, and a honorable principal madam for providing the Health and Nutrition Forum the opportunity to conduct the national level webinar. The purpose of this webinar is to raise the awareness on PCOS and to have a healthy lifestyle. In this occasion, I would like to welcome our eminent resource person, Dr. Abirami. We are very privileged to have you with us, ma'am. Now, let me introduce with great pleasure our talented guest, Dr. Abirami. She was born and brought up in Sivagasi, Tamil Nadu, finished schooling in Sivagasi, and did her graduation at SDM College of Naturopathy and Yogic Science in Karnataka. She is now in Kerala and at present working in St. Thomas Multi-Speciality Hospital as a consultant in naturopathy department. Since 6 years, she is working with charity organization on spreading cancer awareness sessions in and around Kottayam and Alapi district. She is also doing sessions on the need for menstrual hygiene and sustainable menstruation in many schools and colleges. This led her to start manufacturing of cloth bags under the brand named Pirai. Since 2 years, she has been spreading this awareness in many schools and colleges in Kerala and Tamil Nadu and been featured in many online and daily magazines. In this lockdown, started online session on women wellness, diet programs, and webinars. At present, taking online consultations and virtual yoga classes, she strongly believes Women empowerment lies on knowledge about her own physical and mental health. We are overwhelmed to have her among us. We are very much grateful and honored to have such an illustrious person with us. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. I welcome our honorable correspondent and the honorable principal madam, faculties of GSS and other colleges, and the entire student community.
It is a privilege to honor our prominent chief guest with a memento of appreciation. Please, ma'am. It is a time to acquire knowledge of PCOS awareness, makes the invisible the visible. May I take the pleasure of requesting our guest of honor, Dr. Abirami BNYS, to take over the session and enlighten our mind with your speech. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So happy to be back on this um, PC voice session because it's been a long time since all the corona things got over and we are more into offline thing after a long time getting back into a virtual webinar platform. So we'll start the session. Let me share my screen first. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, we can see the screen.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. So, PCOD. So it's a very interesting topic. So here, just a moment. I'm getting.
Ma'am, it's not visible.
Yeah, just a moment. Just a moment. I don't get the share option. I don't know. It just comes cancel.
Ma'am, you just sent to us. Will present.
Yeah.
That's
Now can you see this?
yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Okay, okay, sure. This is the first time I'm using this platform, StreamYard. I'm used to Google Meet and Zoom, so that's why I got a little bit confused. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so today we are going for PCOS. So I'll be taking for 45 minutes. So later we can have questions if there is any. Okay. So the first thing here I want to tell is, okay. So PCOS and PCOD. So you'll be having heard it often, right? We get to listen it more often now than before. Like earlier, there have been PCOS, but now in recent days we get to hear it more often. But is there a difference between PCOS and PCOD? Have you ever thought about it? Because in some places they do PCOD and some places PCOS. Actually, the difference is very mild. Polycystic ovarian disorder and polycystic ovarian syndrome. These are the two difference. Disorder is D and syndrome is S. Syndrome contains a lot of diseases, like it includes a lot of symptoms. Like if there is PCOD, we get a lot of group of symptoms, not one symptom. And polycystic ovarian disorder is the functional problem. So both are similar. One thing explains the condition, other a group of syndromes. Okay. So today we are going to see exactly what happens in PCOD, what is PCOD, why it happens, why it is important to you. Because in your college they have arranged it for your age group, so you should know why they did it, right? It is not like um, suddenly without any reason they would have given. They should have thought something and why it is important to you at this age. Okay, so what is PCOD? You might have seen people who are having male pattern hair in the face, right? Like small hairs in the face, cheeks, chin, above in the upper lip, and all those things, right? And some people will have thick skin. You would have seen, like especially in the neck, right? They will have thick skin, dark color skin in the neck, armpit, elbows. So all these thickening, we think it is because of some skin condition, but no, it could be a hormonal thing, hormonal imbalance. That is what we are going to see. And sometimes for some people there might be irregular menses, right? So, irregular menses, sometimes for those who are having very painful periods, I have seen girls who used to say, "Ma'am, I didn't get period for 3 months," very happily. So, when periods is not coming, it could be a happy moment for some, but it is not so. It has to be a regular pattern. So, just like hunger, our natural instincts, water drinking, your periods after menstruation, after puberty has to be a regular one. Only that means that your uterus is functioning properly and all the hormones in your body are functioning right. Okay. So, just to understand the irregular menses, the thickening skin, lots of acne or pimple, male pattern of hair pattern in the face, all these could be a hormonal imbalance that all comes under with the cause of polycystic ovarian disease or disorder. Okay. So what exactly polycystic? So here I want to show you. So let me stop the share. Let me show you something. So here, this is uterus, right? So this is here real life size uterus. It is in the size of your fist, not more than that. Just how much you close your fist, that much is your uterus. And there are a pair of ovaries, this side and this side. There are two ovaries. So these ovaries form egg, and from this egg passes through fallopian tube. This is the fallopian tube. Okay, the egg stays here. If ever you get pregnant or a sperm gets into this, the baby develops here and it forms and comes inside here, and then from here the growth of the baby happens. So this is the function of uterus and ovary. So here the polycystic ovary, where it comes is, this is the ovary, right? So poly is many, cystic is anything like a bubble which has water in it. Okay, cyst is something which is having like a small bubble kind of thing which has water. Polycystic is there are a lot of small bubble like structure with fluid covers the ovary. So what happens, the ovary has to release the egg, and then the menstruation happens. When there are so many cysts around the small ovary, what happens is no ovulation happens. What happens when there is no ovulation? There is not going to be menstruation. So that is one thing. Your uterus is not functioning properly. There are a lot of hormonal imbalance. But many people get to know PCOS because they go to a gynec after marriage for infertility. Okay. So there only they get to diagnose that they have PCOS. So far, they will not have any problem. When they check with the gynec, they will tell that no, you have polycystic, the egg is not getting released well, so you can't get pregnant. So the worst problem of PCOS is infertility. In India, a lot of infertility cases are because of this polycystic ovarian disease. Okay. So this is the biggest complication of PCOS. Other than that, all of other things that we saw, um, male pattern hair, weight gain. There, you might be thinking like a lean girl suddenly gaining so much weight, so much weight. It is not like eating and gaining weight. It is like a fluid weight. You feel so heavy in your body, like your breast becomes heavy, like you feel like a water filled balloon. Like it is not like you eat and you gain fat. It's like you get a lot of water filled inside you, and it just swells up. So all those things could happen because of polycystic ovarian disease. Okay, so now let's see that again. Okay, so how many women have PCOS? So you might be thinking how far it is prevalent, right? So but you will be amazed to know that 1 in 5 women have infertility. uh, uh, 1 in 5 women have polycystic ovarian syndrome that affects the fertility. Okay, so that is a big number, right? 1 in 5 is a big number. So that is very important. That's why it's becoming very important that we have to address PCOS. So lot of Indian women have this problem. Main reason, one thing is poor nutrition, and second thing is lack of physical activity at this age group, and junk food, and so many things that we will see later. Also, there is another thing we need to understand is we don't talk about it, right? So for example, when your menses is skipping for 2 months or 3 months, do we immediately go to doctor? No, we wait. We talk to our parent, our mom especially. You speak to your mom, you speak to your friends, you ask your neighbors. So they'll be telling, okay, after 2 months it will be all right, after 3 months. So we wait till it becomes a bigger problem. So it is very important that whenever you miss your periods for more than 2 months, or you have irregular periods. So when I say irregular periods, what is regular periods? This we should understand, right? For some people, once in 28 days it comes correctly. For some people, it is once in 45 days. Both are normal. It can be anywhere between 25 to 45 days. But the problem is 1 month getting in 25 days, next month getting in 45 days is not okay. So 1 month 25, every month 25 is okay. So, but irregularly getting periods is not okay. So, whenever you skip your periods for more than 2 months, you have to check your hemoglobin first, then you have to check your gynec if there is any hormonal imbalance. Because when it is very mild, you can very easily correct it with very little changes in your diet and lifestyle. But when we don't treat it, then it becomes a big problem needing medication. Okay. So we will see, we saw the symptom, right? There is weight gain, irregular menstrual flow, three, anxiety and depression. Can you believe? So all these could be hormonal. We might be thinking that we have some problem and all those things. So it could be your hormones that is causing you anxiety and even depression. Okay. So this weight gain, it's like a vicious cycle. In some people, they have PCOS, and because of that, they gain weight because of hormonal imbalance. You would have heard people, they are gaining so much weight, and when you ask them, they will tell that I have hormonal imbalance, thyroid, and all those things. So it is a two-way cycle. When you gain weight, you get PCOS. When you get PCOS, it causes weight gain. It is like a cycle. You do this, you get this, you get this, and you do this. So it is like a cycle. So for that, you have to break that cycle somewhere. Either you have to lose your weight or you have to check your hormonal imbalance to get it corrected. Okay. So why it is caused? So for every disorder, we should know why it is caused, right? So first thing, it could be a genetic factor. So it is said that PCOS runs in families. If your family, your mom, your aunt, your grandmother, your sister, or anybody in your family, blood relation has PCOS or irregular menses, then you are more prone to get the disease. Okay. And second thing, the cyst in the ovary. If there is already, because of any other condition, if you have cyst already, then also polycystic might cause. And third thing is lack of hormone levels. So to know the hormone levels, if it is a live session, it will be more nice. I can ask you the questions. But here, being a recorded session, we have to go monotonously. But I think you can just think of the hormones that you have in your body. So estrogen and progesterone, these are considered as a female hormones, right? But we also have testosterone. Okay. So it is like yin and yang. I think you will know the yin and yang, Chinese. Every yin have small yang and every yang has small yin. So the big black circle has a white dot and the white circle has a black dot. So it is the philosophy of yin and yang. There is no complete black or complete white. There is always. So that is how male and female are made in the universe. So, testosterone is a male hormone. So, even all women have a very small quantity of testosterone. Even men have a small quantity of estrogen and progesterone. When it is more, we say that the hormones are in imbalance. For example, in PCOS, the testosterone level goes up because of various reasons. So when the testosterone level goes up, that is the reason the skin becomes thick. There is male like hair and loss of menstruation, all these things happening. Okay. So for that to know what is hormonal imbalance, you should know what are the hormones. So here I have given a simple picture of what happens in polycystic ovary and the regular ovary. I showed the picture. So here you can see in the first image, there is a lot of immature follicles, right? So here, usually our mature molecule, the inside one, round one is called egg. So the mature follicle releases the egg every month. One egg is released, and then it becomes a like a corpus luteum, we say. After releasing the egg, it becomes a white, thick, fibrous capsule that we are seeing here. Okay, those are mature follicles. But what happens in polycystic is there are a lot of immature follicles. You can see that the circle, it is not very mature. The egg is not properly formed. So what happens? There are a lot of immature follicles that becomes a cyst. That's why we call that becomes like a water bubbles. So that they don't carry egg, they don't release egg, they just store follicles, and those follicles are filled with fluid. So that's what happens. So why it happens? We saw there are genetics and the inflammation and all those things. What happens to the hormone level? You can see that normally testosterone is green color, it is very less for us, right? Especially women, days, you can see that it is a days of your periods, menstrual cycle. 14th day is ovulation, 21 day, 28 day is menstruation usually. So 14th day egg has to release from ovary. But what happens in other picture? You can see that estrogen level, pink color, became so less. That means that egg cannot release. Only when there is a estrogen upsurge, your egg can release. But what happens here? Here the testosterone is so much. That's why we can't release eggs in polycystic. So, why the testosterone becomes more? That we have to think. That could be because of excess insulin, or it could be inflammation, lifestyle factors. So, all these could be a reason. So we need to know what to do. So the insulin, you would have seen here why insulin and PCOS is related. But you will be surprised to know that whenever you go to a gynecologist or a modern medicine physician, the first thing they will give for PCOS is the same medicine they give for type 2 diabetes, sugar. Like if ever you go to a doctor for sugar complaint, what medicine they are going to give? The same thing they will be giving. Metformin is given for PCOD. That is because both are similar. Okay, sugar happens in pancreas, but in polycystic it happens in ovary. But the problem is same. Let's see what is that problem. Okay, so the problem could be diet. The problem could be a poor diet, stress, and overweight, lack of exercise, addictions, and habits. So, here, when sugar, we tell the people, right? Whenever a person is very fat, we tell them that you might get sugar. So, reduce your weight. So, what happens in overweight? The same thing. If you understand the sugar, you can understand PCOS also. For example, there is a kitchen in which you can cook for four people. Suddenly, there are a lot of guests in your home. There are 40 to 50 people. How will be your kitchen? It will be a mess, right? So gas will get over, so every place will be so messy. Okay, some food might be not enough for everybody. So all these things happen. The same thing happens with polycystic and insulin. Insulin is a hormone in our body that helps us to uh, proper uptake of energy from the food we take. For example, your body can make food for like insulin for your exact weight. For 5 feet, you have to be 55 kg. So your body can make insulin for 55 kg. Suddenly you gain so much weight. You became 65 or 70 kg. Now what happens? Your body have to cook for 50 people, all right? So your body has to make insulin for extra 15 kg. So what happens? So for some people there is no problem. More insulin is produced and they are fine. But for some people, after certain years, like say for 5 to 10 years, their pancreas starts becoming very weak. So it makes us strike, no, I can't make insulin anymore. So that's why we get diabetes. Okay, this is one reason. Second thing, what happens? Because our poor diet. For example, we have maida food, junk food, and lots of spicy, packed food, preserved food, high salt, high sugar food. What happens is all these sugar will make your body forget about insulin. Now you think the same example of insulin. There is insulin, but your body is not recognizing it as insulin. What will happen? So there is a lock, there is a key. So insulin is the key. It has to open for the energy to absorb. But key is there, lot of insulin is there. But your lock became very rusted, very old. It is broken. Can the key open the lock? No, right? That is a condition called insulin resistance. When we gain so much weight, when we eat a lot of maida food, junk food, no exercise, overweight, your body becomes so rough. Like the lock becomes so bad that the key doesn't fit in. Even if there is so much insulin in your body can't take. So what we have to do? We have to clean the lock. We have to make the lock very good so that the key can fit. So this is what is needed in case of insulin resistant diabetes, sugar complaint usually, and also the same principle happens in polycystic ovarian disease. Here also, the problem is not with the insulin. It is not that no point in making your body make so much insulin because it is making already. But your body is not recognizing. The lock is locked. It became so bad that it is not fitting. The key is not fitting inside. So we have to clean the lock. So for that, today we will be seeing natural home remedies and lifestyle management because I work in that department, wellness management, where we try to manage and prevent disease without medication. Okay, so but we should know the medication also so that we will know when to meet a doctor or when to take what kind of diet. Okay, so here we will see both. So, PCOS, first thing we will be going for diet. Why diet is important, what happens in PCOD, and what to be eaten. Okay. So, first thing, so here it is, I just gave the picture of all these things for you to understand what exactly we have to do to begin with. Now, there might be students who will be watching this who want to reduce weight, who really have problem with all these things. So for them, if you are into weight loss or something, the first thing you have to know is track it. So before knowing what to reduce, you should know what you are eating, right? So for example, what did you eat from today morning? We might be thinking, no, I didn't eat so much, just 3 meals I had. Because we think that we eat very less, right? We don't accept that we have so much food, but in reality, we might be having more. So it is important to track what we eat in PCOS, and the same thing for diabetes also. The first thing is you have to reduce your carbohydrates. Okay, so the carbohydrates includes everything, the rice, the main Indian South Indian food, the rice, all the grains that includes wheat, chapati, and all that we serve in the morning, idli, dosa, everything. You just think like we will be knowing that, you will be knowing that how much we eat. So much of carbohydrates in our diet. Morning, idli, dosa, idiyappam, appam, chapati, everything is wheat, and wheat, rice or grains, carbohydrates. Again, lunch we have rice. And evening, again, tiffin we say. Again, the tiffin, the rice, dosa is made from rice. So, as staple South Indian or North Indian food, mostly South Indian food is more carbs than North Indian. So you will see that there is a lot of carbohydrates, more than the quantity that we need. So it is very important to track how much you eat. So what to eat, what not to eat. So first thing is no dairy, they said, but you can take dairy, but in a restricted quantity. You can take curd, okay? And here, no gluten, but even gluten is, for some people, gluten is present in chapati or wheat products, anything, maida, and all these things you can take, but you have to restrict it. Focus on low GI food. So, what is low GI food? So, in low GI food, these are the low GI food. So, it does not increase the sugar in your body so much. Okay. So, you can choose the food like this: lots of fruits, vegetables, sea fishes, complex carbohydrates. So, for example, when you drink a juice, orange juice, your body can take the energy within half an hour. Glucose, like a person, like in your college, if somebody is fainting, what do? You give glucose, right? So suddenly, if you give glucose, they'll get instant energy. So those food are given only in those emergency condition. Other times, such instant energy giving food should be avoided. Instead, what you can have is complex carbohydrates. For example, unpolished rice. It is not white rice, it is like the brown rice, it has a husk of the rice. Those complex carbohydrates, which takes time to digest and get energy from, that takes at least 3 hours for you to get the energy. So it is a slow sustained energy. So in those conditions, those foods are very good. If you are taking carbohydrate, you have to choose such foods. So that can be taken in moderation. Those foods you can take any amount. Here, nuts and pulses. You need good fat, good protein. Do you know the protein needed for our body is 1 gram per kg of your body weight? For example, if you're 60 kg, you have to take at least 50 to 60 gram of protein. Are we taking that daily? No, mostly we take very little amount, especially dal or chana or whatever you take. We don't take that much that is required for the body. We take very little amount. So it is very important that you have to take enough protein in your diet. Enough protein and enough fat has to be taken, and the fat that you take has to be um, you should see that it is not in a very high quantity. So these things you can take in moderation. It could be butter, cheese, ghee, paneer, all these you can take, but it has to be in moderation. And third thing, I told you, whole grain products. It is unpolished rice. It is not white rice, it is unpolished rice. Those also you can take. And if you are a non-vegetarian, you can take meat or chicken, which has very good protein in it. All animal food has very good protein, even eggs have. And in tubers, you can have potato or yam. But if you are in weight loss plan, you have to restrict potato. Instead, you can have sweet potato. Sweet potato is very good. Okay. So all these foods which will help you in losing weight as well as will help you in increasing your sensitivity to insulin. So as I said, for PCOD, your lock should be cleaned. So all these food will help you in cleaning the lock. So which should be avoided completely? It might be difficult for you because all these foods are the most tastiest food. Okay, there are two options: either you can go for taste, or you can go for health element. So if you are someone who has a family history of PCOD, or if you have irregular menses or any symptom of this kind, overweight, you have to avoid it at least for 3 months. Once your system and hormones are getting back to normal, then you can start consuming regular diet. But for that, before that, you have to cut down these things at least for 3 months. Okay. So all the processed food which comes in packages, it includes biscuits. You just can't remember anything. It comes in packets. So biscuits, chips, Lays, Kurkure, bottled drinks, Coca Cola, Pepsi, All these have so much sugar. You can just Google and see. All these have so much sugar content, maida content, unhealthy food that will make it very difficult for the body to process. And sweeteners, any sweet, even honey, sugar, jaggery, natural honey is good. But the thing is, at this point of time, if you are reducing weight, it is good to avoid all those things for 3 months. Later, you can start taking it. So you might be thinking, right? I have seen a lot of people who will tell that it's okay, I can eat anything, but I can walk or I'll do exercise and I will reduce. But do you know 500 ml of Coca Cola has 200 calories that needs 1 hour of vacuuming. So you have to vacuum clean the entire home. Only then you can burn the calorie that is in 500 ml of Coca Cola. And the fish and chips, like if you have in a burger corner of something, chicken fries and all those things, fish, there is 1000 calories. You have to walk for 14 miles. So how long we have to walk? So the workouts that we do is not equal to the food that we eat. The small chocolate croissant that you get in a bakery, it is 370 calories that needs 30 minutes of climbing stairs. You have to climb up and down for 30 minutes. Just a 4 bar dairy milk chocolate, 4 square of chocolate, not full chocolate, just 4 squares need 15 minutes of swimming. So, if you know this, you will be more careful in what we eat because spending them is so difficult. So, you can be more careful of your choices of what you eat. Okay. So, to lose weight, you have to read the labels. Another tip is what is inside, you have to know. For example, just a minute. So, what is inside the package you have to read. For example, a cucumber that you can see is just 15 calories. Orange is 60 calorie. Beetroot is 15 calories. But the potato chips is 150 calorie. The same amount of cashew nut is 160 calories. A chocolate bar is 100 calories. So when you see this, you will be thinking, okay, I should not take cashew nuts. It's very much calorie, but the same calorie we have in one packet of Lays. But if you eat cashew nuts, you have more other benefits of good fat and all those. Even that is, you have to take only very less quantity, but still, I'm giving for the comparison the health benefit. So it varies so much. So one hummus, you will be having dip, right? Mayonnaise, all those hummus, that is 140 calories, just a small pack of hummus. So all these things you have to know what is PCOD and how to reduce it. So stress, we finished diet, so we will go for stress. Why stress? There are a lot of stress at present in the society. uh, COVID had made us think of stress in different ways. At every age, school children had stress, college, every person, business people, employees, work from home. There are a lot of stress, and it is like all the old stress and new stress added to a new stress. Okay. So why what happens when there is stress with the hormones? We'll see that whenever there is stress, you can see that there is high adrenal function. So what is this high adrenal function? So whenever your teacher is scolding you, when you're late for college, you didn't finish your assignment, what happens? Your heart beats very fast and you start sweating. Your tongue becomes very dry. You feel like drinking water. Your hands become very sweaty. Why is it? It is all because of adrenal. So nature has created us so beautifully that earlier days when this happens, whenever there is a bigger animal coming to hunt us, human beings have to run, right? So what happens is the blood from your internal organ goes to your legs so that you can run fast and escape. So that is why you don't feel like eating anything when you're stressed because all the energy is going to legs and hands to fight or run. So that is because of our adrenal function. But luckily, we came to cities. We are no more in forest. There is no animals hunting us. But still, even when your teacher is scolding, your body reacts as if it is being hunted, as if it is running for life. The same thing. Whenever you give the signal of stress, the body thinks that you are in a life threat. So, what it does the same thing as it was doing when you were chased by a lion or an elephant. Okay. So, in such stress, what happens is there is more DHEA. That means there is more male sexual hormone. As I said, testosterone. So this adrenal function, when it is more, it produces more testosterone. And what testosterone does? It gives a male pattern of hair, and it reduces production of eggs. And another thing, what happens in stress is there is low pituitary function. You will know that that is a pituitary gland, a small gland here that functions everything, all the hormones it controls. It is like a controller of all hormones. So that makes the estrogen and progesterone to reduce the secretion. So what happens? Testosterone is more and estrogen becomes less. So that leads to the PCOS. That's how stress leads to PCOS. So what you can do for stress? So, what are the things you can do for stress? There are so many things that we are seeing for stress. You can de stress with yoga. You can do any activity that keeps you happy. It could be a hobby, it could be drawing, it could be dancing, singing, anything that makes your heart happy. At least you should have one activity. I have seen a person, whenever she is stressed, she used to go to terrace at any time of the day. It is daytime or nighttime, anytime. So she just goes to terrace and she used to see the sky. She feels that that reduces her stress. This is, each person has their own thing. Some goes to beach, they just see the ocean, they feel good. Some grow flowers and they feel good to see the flowers and they feel the tension is away. Because born as a human being, you just can't run from here, right? So even though we have a lot of problem, lot of stress, you have to be here healthily. So to be that health, you should find your own ways to de-stress yourself. That is very important. You can talk to anyone whom you can share what you feel. Like that helps in reducing your stress. You can do any hobby. It could be playing. Some people they sweat a lot in the playground, then they feel their stress is reduced. You can listen to songs, you can sing songs. There are so many ways to reduce stress. You have to learn something so that you don't get the complications caused by stress. So there are some simple naturopathy treatment I have given here which you can follow if you have irregular menses. So you just can take a towel, like a regular towel that we have, dip in water, fold it into the size of a rectangle and keep it on your abdomen for 20 minutes in your empty stomach. As soon as you get up in the morning, after brushing and toilet, you can do this and do for 20 minutes. This will help you in improving the circulation. Okay. Or you can go for hip bath. So hip bath is like earlier people used to sit in the river and take bath, right? You would have seen like there were a lot of water, a lot of rivers. People used to go to river to take bath. They used to sit in the river. So this hip bath gives the same effect of that. So that is very, very useful for PCOS and menstrual health. So here are some home remedies. There is cinnamon, flaxseed, spearmint tea, apple cider vinegar, fenugreek, saw palmetto. It is like the dates. So Adimaduram, they say licorice and omega-3 fish oils and moringa leaves or fenugreek, vendayam. All these things you can drink as a herbal tea, put in water, boil, and you can drink. All these can help in menstrual health, but these all are supplement. Unless you work in your weight loss, unless you go for physical exercise, stop all the junk food. This doesn't help. So here you can do a plan of your diet chart, like what you are writing, like what you want to add to it. Every day you can write a diet chart and you can plan it and fix it so that it gets easy for you to plan. So some yoga asanas that you can do for PCOS is, this is one butterfly pose that is very very efficient. I have suggested for a lot of people. They have done this and it has worked. It is just you have to open your thighs and you have to touch the ground and do it like a butterfly wings. So it is very very efficient. There are a lot of exercise. As I said, exercise is a very good tool for reducing weight as well as polycystic. For polycystic, what happens is exercise will increase the hormones, good hormones. It will make you more happy and reduces the stress. When the stress is reduced, when you become more happy, polycystic reduces by itself. For many people, just by yoga or just by adding some exercise, walking, reducing weight has totally made them free of PCOD and they were able to conceive baby. There are a lot of people who had infertility because of PCOD, but they were also able to get the baby because of following the simple tips. So it is very important that you have to do some physical activity for PCOS. Another benefit of yoga is it helps to reduce your stress. As I said, it can help you make you sleep well and it can balance your hormones. Not only reduce weight, it also helps in all these things. Okay. So if you are someone who is practicing yoga, you can see that these are the yoga postures that will help, cobra pose, cat camel pose. So all these things you can just check and you can see. So the way out is in. If you want to get out of a disorder, out of a disease, you have to go through it. Go through in the sense you have to know what you have to do. What is it? What are the symptoms? Am I having this symptom? Is anybody in my family has this symptom? Is my friend having irregular menses? What could be the problem? What are the pros and cons? What can be done? Does it need a gynec checkup? Can I correct it with a lifestyle change? All these can be checked. Okay. So I have presented, that is about the screen share. So here the important thing that you need to know is polycystic can be cured, very well cured. But only thing is you need to understand the basics. So the basic principle of diet, a proper lifestyle, stress-free, complete healthy lifestyle with good exercise can really help you prevent PCOS if somebody in your family has, or if you have PCOS in a mild level, without medication you can correct it. Okay. So if there is any question or something, you can ask now.
She's posting something. Okay, then I want to post.
What question you want to post?
Just
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
It is the time for interaction. Spectators, whoever want to ask any question can post the question in your chat box. Thank you, ma'am. It was a crystal clear explanation. We feel that this webinar had enabled us to inquire and acquire enough knowledge. We have no questions from the participants. and hence we can
Okay.
proceed with the vote of thanks.
Thank
Indupriya
you.
ma'am is going to proceed with vote of thanks.
Thankfulness is the best of courtesy. On behalf of GSS Jain College for Women, I take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. I firstly thank the Almighty God whose grace has made the national level health oriented webinar successful. I express my heartfelt thanks to our chief guest of honor, Dr. Abirami ma'am, who has presided over the session and enabled us to acquire knowledge. Thank you, ma'am. We felt that it was highly beneficial to us. I extend my gratitude to our correspondent, Dr. Gautam P. Vaid sir, and our principal, Dr. M.K. Malati ma'am, for the guidance and support. I convey my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Lata Brito ma'am, coordinator of Health and Nutrition Forum, for this effort in arranging this session. I also express my special thanks to all the faculties who have joined us from GSS and other institutions. It's my duty to thank all my fellow students for their participation. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. National anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, ma'am.